Good day and welcome to our class. Today we're going to discuss about inverse functions. Two functions f and g are inverse of one another provided that f of g of x is equal to x for each x in the domain of g, or g of f of x is equal to x for each x in the domain of f. So when you are asked to find for the inverse function of a given function, you should perform the following. First, in the equation for f of x, you replace f of x by y. Then we're going to interchange x and y and solve the resulting equation for y. And we'll replace by f of negative 1 of x. And then we're going to verify if f and f of negative 1 are inverses of each other. So let's take the given example. So f of x is equal to 3x minus 1 all over x plus 50. So it says here we change f of x to y. So f of x will become y is equal to 3x minus 1 all over x plus 5. And then we're going to interchange only x and y. In other words, replace y, all y's with x, replace all x with y. So y here will be replaced by x, and x here will be replaced by y, and x here will be replaced by y. After doing that, we are going to solve for y. Now, to be able to do that, we can perform cross multiplication. So we cross multiply x times y plus 5 and 1 times 3y minus 1. So we did not indicate 1 because the denominator here of x is 1. So 1 times 3y minus 1 is 3y minus 1. So that's not indicated here anymore. So next, we distribute x. We multiply x by y plus 5. So we'll get x times y plus 5x is equal to 3y minus 1. Since we are solving for y and we have two y's here, xy and 3y, we group similar terms. Okay, similar terms here are your xy and 3y. So xy, this will be placed to the other side of the equality sign. You will have negative 3y. 5x will be transferred to the other side. So you will have negative 1 minus 5x. Okay, now, next thing that you're going to do after grouping similar terms, we can factor out y. Since we have y here and we also have y, so you can factor out y. So if you factor out y, this will be y times, what is left here is x and negative 3. So you will have y times x, the quantity x minus 3. Okay, you just factored out. And then also here, we can factor out negative 1. So negative 1 times positive 1 plus positive 5x. Okay, so paano nangyari yon? Factor out mo lang. Ang common kasi sa kanila is negative 1, di ba? Or negative. So you can factor out what is common to them, which is negative. So negative times the quantity 1 plus 5x. So how will you check? You just multiply negative. Negative times 1 is negative 1. Negative times 5x is negative 5x. So that's the original. So these two are actually the same. We just factored out negative 1. Now, after doing that, since our aim here is to solve for y, so y times the quantity x minus 3, okay, we can just divide both sides by x minus 3 to leave y alone. Okay, so y times x minus 3 all over x minus 3 will give you y. Negative negative times the quantity 1 plus 5x all over x minus 3 is this. Okay. Now, we can eliminate the negative sign here by factoring negative 1 in the denominator. So, if we factor out negative 1 times the quantity 3 minus x. Ganyan yung mangyayari. Paano nangyayari yon? Pareho lang ang x minus 3 sa negative times the quantity 3 minus x. How do we know? So negative times 3 is negative 3. Negative times negative x is positive x. So it's the same. X minus 3. We just want to factor out negative 1 so that we can eliminate the negative sign in the numerator and in the denominator. So at this case, negative divided by negative will give you positive 1, leaving 1 plus 5x all over 3 minus x only. Okay, so this is now the value of your y. Y is equal to 1 plus 5x all over 3 minus x. Now to check if this is really equal to x, we replace y by f of negative 1 of x. But what is f of negative 1 of x? That's the original function actually. Okay, your original function, our f here, f of negative 1 is the original function. What's the original function? Ito, 3y minus 1 over y plus 5. Tama ba tayo? Okay. And then we replace that by with this one. So 3y, 3y, and we know that y is this. So we replace that by 1 plus 5x all over 3 minus x minus 1. Minus 1. All over y again. So we have y. This is the value of y. 1 plus 5x all over 3 minus x plus 5. This is 5. Okay? Now, let's simplify this, the denominator and numerator. How do we simplify this? Okay? Let's just get the least common denominator. For the numerator, your least common denominator is 3 minus x. So we solve that. 3 minus x divided by 3 minus x is 1 times 3 times 1 plus 5x. So you will have 3 times 1 plus 5x. Next, 3 minus x divided by 1 is 3 minus x times negative 1. So you will have negative 1 times 3 minus x. Simplifying this further, ito, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 5x is 15x, negative 1 times 3 is negative 3, negative 1 times negative x is positive x. So we were able to simplify and expand at the same time our numerator. Now we go to denominator, it's the same process, just get the least common denominator, and the least common denominator is 3 minus x. 3 minus x divided by 3 minus x is 1 times 1 plus 5x. So you have 1 plus 5x plus 5. Okay, 3 minus x, the denominator of 5 is 1, divided by 1 is 3 minus x times 5. So you will have 5 times 3 minus x. Okay, now let's simplify this like what we did in the numerator. So you will have 1, then plus 5x, plus 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times negative x is negative 5x. Okay? So simplifying further, 3 minus 3 is 0. 15x plus x is 16x. 5x minus 5x is 0. So you will have 1 plus 15 is 16. So 16x all over 16. 16 will cancel out and you will be left with x. So we just proven that the inverse of y is equal to 3x minus 1 all over x plus 5 is f of negative 1 of x, which is equal to 1 plus 5x over 3 minus x. Okay, so that's how simple this lesson is. So for the first exercise here, g of x is equal to 1 over x minus 2. It's like what we did. Just change this to y. Okay. And then after changing this to y, exchange y and x. And then solve for y. And then solve for f of negative 1 of x. Okay? Or verify, using f of negative 1 of x. Okay, so I hope that's clear. For more questions, just send me a message in our group chat. Have a good day.